Hey there, friend. Do any of these seem to resonate with you? I am angry they died that way. It's not fair. I can't believe it's real. Nothing seems to matter anymore. Everyone seems to have moved on. I have problems sleeping. Mornings and nights are the hardest. I feel guilty and don't want to be a downer in people's conversations. I get triggers when I see places we've been together. I feel overwhelmed and hopeless. These are the raw, honest words of individuals who have walked the path of grief and loss. If you find yourself nodding along, feeling the weight of these emotions, know that you are not alone. When you're going through grief and loss, it can send trauma and shock to the body. And so emotions of sadness, depression, anxiety, it all can be overwhelming, making you feel stuck in the pain of the past. If you're ready to feel less alone and release that pain and heal in a comfortable and safe environment, I invite you to join my Grief Relief Live program. Enrollment is now open, and I'd be honored to have you join us. You deserve peace and healing from your pain. To learn more and sign up, visit thehappyhealingshop.com/grief. Again, that's thehappyhealingshop.com/grief. After leaving the corporate 9-to-5 grind, I became the boss of my own spiritual business, helping others explore and navigate the human experience from insight, wisdom, and lessons learned along the way. Today, I help aspiring spiritual entrepreneurs gain the confidence to share their gifts with the world. Welcome to the Happy Healing Shop podcast. I'm your host, Trang Pham Nguyen, and each week we'll dive into incredible stories of strength, resilience, and transformation. So, if you are ready for some serious breakthroughs, laughs and tears, and stories that will inspire you, you are in the right place, my friend. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode where I'll be talking about different forms of grief and loss. And one of them that comes up, especially when you get older, I've noticed, is loss of health. Through my friends, I've noticed, especially when you get into your 30s and 40s, there is a loss of health when it comes to fertility. And first example would be a miscarriage. And it is one of those things where I've noticed women blame themselves so much on this, where they say, there's a sense of with health issues that it's the feeling of my body has failed me. What is wrong with my body? Why is it not functioning like everyone else's, like normal? Losing a child. You don't ever expect to lose a child in the process. And having all this hope, this vision of a family life, or this vision of having a baby shower, and then having to cancel it because there's no baby anymore. And even though it's a common thing, it still feels very tough. I don't know, and I can't speak from personal experience, but I've talked to funeral directors where they say usually that's the one where they see where people have appointments with them to deal with the funeral and the casket and all that stuff. But by the time it's you're choosing the memorial plaque and everything, usually by then people seem to not be in tears as much anymore. But they do say when there's parents that come in, they still are bawling in tears when they have to bury their own child, their own baby. I've had acquaintances that work as doctors or nurses in hospitals, and they say that when they try to operate or there's a child that dies from an accident or anything, everyone's just a bit more quiet, even the doctors. And it just hits you differently because you don't ever expect someone so young to not be able to make it versus, let's say, like an 80, 90-year-old where, you have that feeling of, oh, well, you lived quite a bit of a long life and hopefully a good life. So it feels a bit okay for you to go now. But also speaking with fertility, not being fertile. I've had friends that had issues with that, especially, when we want to, focus on our careers, this day and age, and also be more financially stable. We have to put on the back burner trying to have a baby. But that goes to expensive processes of freezing eggs or IVF. And there's a lot of shame or embarrassment, maybe even guilt sometimes with, my eggs aren't working, and disappointment too. I've had a friend that went through IVF, two friends actually, and it is not for the faint of heart. You're injecting yourself with medication or drugs to get your womb ready to be able to release the eggs, and you get the phone call and said this one failed. We tried and we have to go through another round, and each round costs money. So it's very physically, mentally, and emotionally taxing on a person. And then I also had people who've told me that they felt shame or embarrassment that they couldn't even produce enough breast milk to feed their own child because of that sense of feeling of my body isn't functioning 100% to be able to take care of my own child. I can't even feed my own child. What type of mom am I? So these are some of the things where I've noticed some of my friends and people suffer in silence because who do you talk to about this? And it's not a common topic that comes up during a conversation. And with health issues, I've had a few bouts of them myself. After working at Disney, that's when I started getting thyroid problems. And so I have to take medication for that. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's because a lot of the stress that came from that job and that toxic environment. A lot of my health issues come through skin. So it kind of runs the family, but most of my life, my skin has been fine besides, your usual acne, but I've had rashes that broke out. I had a huge body rash that, it looks so bad. It started off my neck, went down to my chest after my uncle died. And sure, from a scientific point of view, it's a lot of stress, but I'm sure there's there's a spiritual aspect to it. I also have sometimes now perioral dermatitis, which is a rash around the mouth area. And sometimes it flares up. Apparently it's common in women, especially in their 30s, but again, there's always a spiritual aspect to it, which I wouldn't be surprised of suppressing emotions or suppressing my needs, or maybe not even speaking up for what I need. On top of that, I've had a lot of, along with the skin issues, a lot of, I wouldn't say psoriasis, but more of really thick, flaky dandruff on my hair where I need Medicaid shampoo for that, like prescription strength stuff. And I just remember thinking, why is my body failing me now? Why can't all this medication, creams, ointments, or whatever get rid of it forever? Because these are like flare-ups, they come back. So, and with my thyroid issues, it's taking medication for life. And yes, I know there's other ways. And yes, I've tried before going on medication, I tried going the holistic way of diet, exercise, and celery juice and all that stuff. But I think I grieved, honestly, for about maybe 10 minutes with my thyroid. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I have to take a pill for the rest of my life. It's something I don't want to do. But then I thought to myself, Trang, you take vitamins and supplements. You just have to add this extra pill to that pack that you eat per day. You're fine. And that's how I kind of got over it within like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Just really reframing and reshifting the mindset, and I do have to remember that, yes, I need to get stress levels down. That's a good chunk of it. But sometimes these problems do come up, and I personally don't want to negate all the years of scientific research of being able to, these medications that help people's lives. And I think there needs to be less of a stigma of, hey, it's okay to take medication. It's just like having high blood pressure, or it's just like mental health. Like some things are off balance and we need to stabilize it first. So this medication can help. I'll again always talk with a health professional, but my hope for the future is that there's less stigma around taking medication and the stigma of that your body is failing you. Yes, it's maybe an alert to be like, hey, there's something about your life that needs to be changed, but you can explore holistic ways of healing, but also don't negate medicine. It's knowledge that has been passed down for a long time. And people, including people in my family who are doctors, they've studied it, and we can't dismiss all that training and education they went through as well. So this was a shorty episode. It helped you see a few more perspectives on how loss can come in different forms and how we grieve over it. If you like this episode, don't forget to rate it on Apple or Spotify. It will help me out greatly. And we have a Facebook group called Happy Healers if you want to join a community that is very loving and very kind and helps you and will make you feel seen and heard. One more thing is the Happy Healing Club. It is my membership where we have spiritual workshops, healing events, Reiki energy healing, and our shadow work journal to help you do the inner work. Thanks for listening, and until we meet again, my friend, always remember to shine your light brightly and to share your story, because you'll never know who it can help, give hope to, or inspire to create a change in their own world. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.